GU Self-Storage, conveniently located near the Harmon McDonald's. We offer affordable rates, online payments, and auto bill pay for your convenience. Plus gate access daily from 6 a.m. to 9 p.m. Call us today at 648-7867.
Viva, Miss Chamorro! Viva! Hey, Viva on you tomorrow. Hey, Viva de Cutney tomorrow. Let's just do a whole decade.
The Cutney?
The Cutney.
I've never heard that one.
You check Dr. Underwood on that if you got any questions. Hey, so we're here at Two Lovers Point, and Moneka de Oro is going to do a demonstration for us. And just before we get to that, I just want to, again, pump that, here at Two Lovers Point, we're doing our Chamorro workshops starting Saturday. This Saturday, we're going to have Tomas Torres, who's going to be weaving with coconut palm leaves, and then Moneka is going to come out on the 14th. The 21st, we got my primo Matt. I was going to be doing a sling demonstration, which is going to be pretty cool. I'm pretty sure they're going to end up slinging down Babylon from up here on Two Lovers Point. And then we have Sina Bernice Nelson doing an omelet demonstration to close it out on the 28th. That's every Saturday during Chamorro. So something I'm not familiar with at all. I mean, I've worn a bunch of them, especially when I visited the Northern Marianas Islands. But I thought it was mwarmwar, but you kind of schooled me on that. That's not how it's said.
No, it's pronounced mwer.
Mwer. So just once, or is it
mwer? I guess, but I've only heard them say it once.
Okay.
Well, you know, Chamorros like to fat, so we like to reduplicate things.
Yeah, so it's mwer, and that is, what kind of word is that?
It's refalawash, and flower crowns are Pan-Pacific, a Pan-Pacific tradition. And although Chamorros usually use a hentu, which is the coconut crown, we do have in our archival history some accounts that Chamorro women and men would use flowers to adorn themselves around their heads. So it probably didn't last throughout colonization, but we, especially in the CNMI, still use it very much today.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I guess I thought going into this that it was NMI thing, but I was, that was pretty cool. And you said that we used to do it a long time ago. And I don't know why we stopped, but it's cool to see this renaissance and this resurgence. I guess so many things.
Yeah, and then people, women throughout the whole Pacific, Tahiti, Hawaii, they all have yap. Yap has a beautiful floral arch tradition of flower crowns. So it just shows that Chamorros are a part of this oceanic family to participate in this. And yeah, it's just a really beautiful way to connect to the environment and to adorn yourself with things from nature. So it's something that I really love doing. It's one of my favorite things to do.
It's sustainable too.
Yep, definitely. Well, the way that they've done, one of the first ways that I learned how to make it was with packing strap from the spare ribs and ribbon. So I really have embraced the Yappies way of making it with tea leaf. And you have to prep the tea leaf before. So I woke up really early to prep. To
she was up at 5 a.m. to do this. I just want real quick on when you talked about making it with the packing strap. I've seen people and all throughout Micronesia make it with the soda or the beer can tab.
Yeah.
They do things with yarn.
Yeah.
So it's kind of interesting to see how.
Or with the Nestle Cafe, like instant coffee mix.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, we're definitely always innovating the use of different raw materials to make new things.
I want to ask, is there a difference between one of these you would see maybe in Nanamai or on Guam versus what you would see in other parts of the Pacific?
That's a great question, and that sounds like it's a good topic for a master's thesis.
I mean, does it pretty much have to do with what kind of flowers are available?
Definitely, I think it's whatever resources you have available. The Yappies have their own style that they even layer, and they have like one layer, two layer. Theirs is a lot more intricate than ours. And then you also have like the Marshallese using a lot of boiled fronds and shells in their crowns and their adornments and their jewelry. But it's all from nature. It's all nature inspired, and it's all really beautiful to be a part of.
I thought it was interesting. We were talking before we went on. You were telling me that you kind of got turned on to this by doing it with some Chuukese girls.
Yeah, so, I think it was 2012 was the very first time that I actually sat down and learned how to make mwarmwars. And I lived in Sinohanya, and my family owned a store at the time. And I saw these girls making it, and then I just asked them to come over and teach me one day. And they were relatives of a family friend and we made a whole lot. And then since then, I would make it like for the graduation circuit, but it's so much work to do it, and I would only do it like by order for a few years, and then I learned different ways over the last decade, but really got into it again in 2017 is when I started making it at least one a month.
What was that like, bridging those cultures, especially? I mean, Lord knows that we need to do more bridging between Chamorro and Chuukese communities, but there's a sense of community when you sit around, because I've seen it, you sit around the mat and you're all doing it together.
Yeah.
So what was that like for you to kind of grow in this discipline?
Oh man, it's just nice to like even to be doing work that ancestors were doing. Flower, you can't be mad when you're working with flowers. And I tell this when everybody's doing it for the first time, like the number one rule is like to relax into it and don't get frustrated, because the flowers are already pretty on its own, and you can't, just don't get frustrated. There's no point in doing it if you're going to be mad while you're doing it. Yeah, but women, especially when they would make this, they would commune, they would sing, they would talk story. It definitely is a place. It's therapy in and of itself. It's a meditative experience. Each of these flowers carry a different story, a different energy. And when I pick, I make sure that I offer thanks and I ask permission, just like any other thing that you would pick in our culture. And I also like to just take nice deep breaths and like look and appreciate every single petal, and really just time slows down. And that's why it's one of my favorite things, because it's just from the beginning to the end of picking the tea leaf and prepping it, and then picking every single flower and driving throughout the road and just getting excited to see flowers. It's really just a really nice way to spend a few hours, spend a few minutes.
Let's talk about, you said each of these flowers has a history and a story. Can you kind of just run through what you have here and maybe explain a little bit about each one to us?
So this is the national flower of Guam. This is bougainvillea, or putitainavu. And putitainavu in Chamorro means what?
Hurts to
not have a boyfriend. It's a heartbroken. It's a sad sort of flower. And
Does it look sad to you?
No, but I think it's because it has thorns.
Right.
And it's beauty needs to have protection and love, even though it's beautiful. It can hurt sometimes. So.
You guys get that?
So that's
love hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So that's what this flower teaches. And then ylang ylang is one of like the most special flowers, I think, throughout Asia, throughout the Pacific. Ylang ylang and Chamorro, it's been used in love potions.
Right.
It's used in protective ointments. Yeah, it's used in coconut oils.
Right. So driving, especially down south, windows down, you'll catch a whiff of this sometimes on the right kind of night, right?
Oh yeah, I think that it's associated with the White Lady Bridge too.
Right.
Like there's some trees in Maina around where the bridge is, and the legend is associated with the smell. And I've been told by healers that if you smell ylang ylang or a really pleasant scent in the jungle, that means good spirits are around. But if you smell like bad things, and bad things are around, so death. Yeah, ylang ylang, it's for protection, it's for connection to ancestors.
And it's got that pawpaw, it's got that smell.
Mm-hmm. And it's for love too. Calichucha or plumeria or frangipani is also really important throughout the Pacific. And it's a friendship. It's really, you can't be mad when you see a plumeria. They also have a really beautiful scent.
Right.
And they come in so many different colors. This one's yellow, and then we have like little pink ones and white one, but the most prevalent one is the white one.
Right. And then, so is this related to like the desert plumeria, which is that really nice pink one?
I think they're all like, cousins.
Right, okay.
One's from Drutnia, the other one's from...
Umatic? So can we kind of focus in on, and I know you're going to do this in the workshop, but I mean, it's so great talking to you about everything to do with making this, but let's kind of focus on what are you doing in there?
Okay, so
it looks pretty intricate.
I prepped the tea leaves this morning, and tea leaves are so important to the Hawaiian culture, and they actually offer it to ancestors every time they go on a hike. And what I really like about the idea of prepping the tea leaf, and you can do it by sticking it in the freezer or by putting it in hot water. There's so many different ways that you just need to soften it. The leaf needs to become soft to become strong and flexible.
I see.
So some strength doesn't always mean hard. Strength can also mean softness and flexibility and resilience. And I love that about the teaching of the tea leaf for this.
That's right.
So basically what I did was cut out, boil them and cut out the stems, and then, so these are halves. These are a half of a leaf. and then tied them together to make 3 strands.
When you oil it, are you talking like coconut oil?
Oh, I put it in the boiling.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But if I freeze it, I don't need oil.
Okay.
It does get a little sticky if you don't put the oil and you use the boiling method. But you could also iron it.
Are you using like the same principle behind like maybe braiding hair?
Yeah, so it's just like weave, and then I'm sticking all of the flowers
Look at that.
within and tucking it within the leaf and pinching them within the leaf so that it's not sticking out. And that's something I had to learn through practice.
Wow.
Because they used to be everywhere and I used to lose flowers, but I also kind of liked.
But you never got mad.
No, and I also kind of liked whenever I'd wear mwarmwar and then like leave a trail of flowers somewhere and like come back and find it. But I'm better at it now, so
Right.
I don't lose as many
And
flowers.
is it just something that comes with a lot of practice?
Yeah.
Like
so
how much though, Moneka? Because I
So
want
I
people
start-
to know, like you get into this, you better be ready to
some
put in
people are
years.
so good.
They have the
Like,
natural
yeah,
knack.
I've done it with tourists and they don't even speak the language, but they have been able to pick it up so good. Japanese especially, I think it's because they work pretty meticulously and have
Right,
strong attention
like
to detail.
origami,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
And they have strong attention to detail. So I've just been able to show them quickly and they just pick it up and like run with it. Other people need a lot more help. And for me, I needed a lot of help. I didn't get good at first. It took me like at least 50 times. And this is maybe like my 200th mwarmwar. I don't know. I've lost count, but it's taken a while. But yeah, so while I'm making it and braiding it, I kind of choose a pattern. So this is pink, white, some greenery that I picked at my son's school.
So you just kind of, I mean, do you kind of lay out like, okay, I want to do this, or you just can make it up as you go along?
Yeah, I kind of make it up as I go along, or I'll do the first 2 and then I'll just follow it from there.
So no two were alike.
No, unless it's like requested,
Right.
like a family portrait or something, and they only
Oh,
want
wow.
these sort of flowers.
And then what's it like? I mean, you're known for so many different things. You know, I'm a fan, and I see all the work that you do. When you started doing this, did it become like, oh, we need a mwarmwar, let's go call Moneka? Like, are you the go-to? Like, because I know it's like I make the Nancy, like anytime everyone needs the Nancy, they're like, oh, check Chris. So I'm pretty sure you're busy all the time.
I actually prefer to teach people how to make it than make it for people and like charge people. So I'd rather teach you for free and
Right.
take you through the whole process of picking the tea leaf and prepping the tea leaf and getting all the flowers. Then, so you can hit me up if you want to learn to do this, because I'd rather teach people so they could do it on their own.
So they could catch the fish.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Exactly. Instead of making it, but I do make it. And
Okay.
I get a lot of requests on social
I'm sure you
media
do,
and
right.
for family. Oh, I have a bridal shower, baby shower, someone's coming home for the first time in a long time, and every time I do it, and especially if I haven't done it in a long time, it just like totally lifts my mood. Oh, I forgot to do an eling.
That's totally random though.
Huh?
It's random though, so
Yeah.
it's okay, right?
It wasn't totally random, but we're gonna just make it a little bit more random from here on out.
Let's talk about the use of these, because it seems to me like, I mean, it's something, an adornment that I would love to see people wearing every day, but it kind of seems, outside looking in, like it's reserved for like ceremonial occasions, or is it?
I wish people would wear it every day. It
Right.
makes my day happy just to see people wearing it. But yes, I guess it is like more ceremonious or special occasions because it does take, we live in such a fast-paced lifestyle now. It does take time out of the busy day to like, from beginning to end, it takes a few hours. So,
Right.
So if you don't have that kind of time, and a lot of us don't, unfortunately, we don't. Yeah, it's just reserved for special occasions. But in the CNMI, I think that they make it a lot more. In other places, they make it a lot more because it's just a nice priority. And I've gone out just at a random bar and have seen people wearing it there, so that's really nice.
Wow.
Just to see people, and especially elders.
That's what I wanna see on
And they smell
Guam.
so nice.
Right,
Like you don't
yeah.
need to wear deodorant if you have a lot
Right.
of eling on you.
That's something I want to see. I mean, I never go out, but I would love to go out one night to like wherever people go out to, and you walk in, and it's just like
A bunch of mwarmwars.
all with sanahis.
Yeah, it's really nice to see people coming back into wanting to just rep our
Right.
resources. And the more that we are in tune and the more that we use the resources of what's around us, the more inclined we are to protect them and be good stewards of them. People also use like plastic mwarmwars
Right.
and like you were saying,
Yeah.
the cans and the cigarette butts too,
Right,
and the
right.
yappies ones. Like there's if we can recycle things as well, as long as we're keeping things out of our dump and and just appreciating nature more. It's just a better way to be.
And so again, let's kind of focus in on what she's doing here, and maybe you could do a little play-by-play for us.
Okay, so I kind of have a little pattern here of like this pink, white with something in between, and then green splitting them each. So next will be some pink Putty Tina View. And I really like doing this as well because I just become so much more aware of my surroundings while I'm driving. Like I remember where certain flowers are.
Right.
I remember where, I love coconut too, so I remember where there's munha that I could actually like walk up to and pick is all over the island. So while I'm driving, I just kind of have like I can't remember a lot of people's names, but I can remember where trees are, and I can remember where.
So you're one of those people who's driving down, looking on the side, checking everything out. Not a Saki, she's looking for flowers.
Yeah, or coconuts, or different herbs and stuff. I remember my grandmother telling my dad, my grandmother was a Surahana, or telling one of my aunties like exactly where in the jungle a certain medicine was, and she knew behind what and how many, like, just Guam directions of where to find something, but she knew exactly where to get a certain medicine, and I remember her just holding that wisdom and wondering how she like remembered how to just go there.
Do you feel
and I think I kind of have that power too, just because I've cultivated. I know where the Bilimbinus tree closest to here is.
Right. Do you feel that kinship with your ancestors when you do this? I mean, even thinking back, generations and generations, knowing that, I mean, when the Spanish were here, before they're here, we were doing this, and now here you are doing it today in 2020.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's not always that deep. But yeah, I definitely feel, and because I ask for permission and I give acknowledgement to ancestor spirits every time I pick anything, I think that does connect me, and it does like make me feel more grounded. And because I have to do this like on the floor, I've learned to do it sitting at a table, but it just makes you like just slow down, feel grounded, and kind of be a little more connected to the place that has been sustaining us for millennia.
Yeah, and that's something that we were thinking about when you were coming up there. They were like, "Oh, we'll set up the table." I said, "No, we got to get the mat. We got to get down." I wore my Zori just for this. I cut my toenails. I didn't really know.
No, you are supposed to like use your toes when things get longer to kind of like when it gets longer. Excuse my causes.
No. Reality. Look at mine.
All causes is earned.
Don't look at mine, Jason.
All causes is earned.
Do not look at it. That's life stories, girl. Each one of those has a story.
Yep.
So this is, I guess, it's pretty creative, I gotta say.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me here. This is such a beautiful spot. I haven't been here in so long.
Right.
So I'm really excited to share this art form. It's truly one of my favorite things to do, and I hope people can make it out and enjoy all of the workshops you guys are doing this year. I don't know, have you been doing this for Chamorro before?
We always do all kinds of stuff for Chamorro, and then this year, of course, since it's Anya Chamorro and Decupti Chamorro, we wanted to do as much as we can. So we're doing a bunch of stuff with Uncle Carlos down at Get Pago, and then we're doing these workshops here, and then we're mixing in performances on Live Local Fridays, so we're doing all Chamorro. So just really like every Chamorro, my goal is like, let's go harder than we did last year.
Yes, it's one of my favorite times of year.
Right.
Chamorro month is every day.
It is.
Celebrate Chamorro month every day. And I'm really excited to be visiting schools this month and to be a part of the Center for Island Sustainability Conference as well. I'm helping to plan the island's first emerging climate leaders program and we're calling it Kulu. And that's going to be really, really fun.
Around, So we got you here. Let's talk a little bit about the climate change stuff that you're doing. And this kind of, to me, it's like you're living that lifestyle, right? Where you're doing things that are sustainable. You're promoting Indigenous practices that are sustainable, and it all kind of lines up with this worldwide mission. I mean, there was a time when people thought it was a hoax science, and I think that we're way past that. And finally, I mean, hopefully not too late. It seems like a lot of people are on board.
Yeah, 2020 is a decade for action, and it's happening globally. I'm really, I just started a job in December with the Micronesia Climate Change Alliance.
Right.
And I have a fellowship to enact what's called the Just Transition Framework here on Guam, and it's a framework that has been developed by climate activist group, by labor activist group in the States, associated with a group called Climate Justice Alliance, and it's just really coming into this global community and it's global people taking action.
Yeah.
Climate change is affecting everybody. Here, most especially in Micronesia, we have our island brothers and sisters have the threat of losing their homelands because of sea level rise. And we also have, this beautiful ocean behind us is very vulnerable to the effects of the global temperature rising. I'm going to eat a flower for breakfast right now. Sorry.
It's got vitamins. So is that way, because I follow you on Instagram and, I catch up with you on social media and we see you going to all these different places, going to all these, different climate change rallies and events. And what's it like to kind of represent Guam on that front?
I went to Madrid in December, just this past December, and it was the COP25, which is the United Nations Annual Summit on Climate Change, or the UNFFCC, and it was, to my knowledge, the first time a Chamorro from the Marianas has ever been to that level of talks.
And you were like marching out there.
Yeah, and I was I was invited by a delegation of Native people, of Indigenous people. So it was I never really cared to go to Spain, never really thought about it, but to go to the People's Climate March and be with a whole Indigenous delegation, especially from people who were colonized by Spain.
Right.
So I was there with people from Brazil.
So you had that in common.
Right. I was with our brethren.
Oh, damn, you was colonized by the Spanish too.
Me
What?
too. And we were in
give me
their
some
land.
skin.
We were in their land, like praying together, communing together, and really bringing our ancestors' energies together. It was out of this world transformational for me, and it was really beautiful to really bring the Chamorro people in our quest for sovereignty and our quest to secure our resources and our homeland for future generations to their consciousness, because people haven't heard of Guam, or if they do, they just know it as a military base. And I've been doing so much work around militarization, so it's
let me ask you, it's frustrating. I mean, you're talking to a lot of people who do the kind of things that you do. It's frustrating when you feel like you're fighting a losing battle, when you feel like there aren't enough people who were woke. So what was it like going to Spain and
everybody
it was like, whoa,
clued in?
do you pick up things and ways that they do things to kind of broaden the reach?
Oh, definitely. So one of the groups that I was most excited to interact with was called the Indigenous Environmental Network, and they're based out of Turtle Island, or what is known as the United States, and all South America and North America. But the Indigenous Environmental Network was behind the Water is Life, No Dapple, Mini Wiconi campaign, and they were able to galvanize the entire world to their fight and bring so much attention to protecting their resources in North Dakota. And the same group has also been very instrumental in Mauna Kea and in what's happening right now in Canada, in the Wet'suwet'en territory. So really just being at the front lines of Indigenous rights movements and occupations and settlements against colonial governments. And for us, coming from the Protecula Texan movement and what's happening in Tinian and Pogden, making those connections to those people who are able to gain global support for their campaigns and really move the meter in protecting their resources and really effectuate change at that level was really important. And it's a relationship that I hope to build on, and I hope to bring them here, and I hope for us to be a part of their convening that they have over the summer, and they're basically inviting a Chamorro delegation over.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it's important to have those networks, native to native, indigenous to indigenous, to support one another and to grow and to just have solidarity. It's so
and that's
important.
such a challenge, because I feel like a lot of times and it's in our culture, it's in our nature, we're always in a hurry to go and help people, even if sometimes the help doesn't come back the other way, as fast as we need it to. So it's cool that you're building those alliances.
It was really beautiful, and them not knowing much about Micronesia, not knowing much about Chamorro and Chamorro people, and wanting to be more supportive and wanting to give more resources to us is something that I'm just so blessed to be a part of, and hope to grow into something really impactful for the future generations, because we really, really have so much to be proud of and so much to be blessed, that we're blessed, and we still have so much more, really. So much beauty left that we need to protect. It's all
I feel
sacred.
like we're a little ahead of the curve out here. We're very fortunate in that people can look around and see so much natural beauty and maybe feel like they need to protect it and defend it more.
Oh, definitely. And I think one big, huge thing that a lot of people found hope in with the Guam story is the fact that we have so many women in political power right now. Just speaking to the women of Brazil and the fight that they have to protect the Amazon, like they would never, having a female head of state and having all this women in power is something that they are only dreaming of. And to have that here, to have that like power and to really be a part of it, to really feel the change that women in power are making is really, really beautiful. So I'm just about done.
Wow. And so this is kind of like the home stretch where, and you're gonna, I mean, correct me, you're gonna end up tying this to that, and then
Yeah, it's gonna be
done
a nice
deal.
little concrete.
Nice. Have you done something similar to this design before?
Probably. These are like plumeria.
These are your go-to flowers?
These are my favorite flowers to use. There's so many
Right.
other ones, honeysuckles. There's also lots of more greenery that people use, but these are the most. Putitanibu grows everywhere. Calachucha grows everywhere.
Right,
These things
right.
grow pretty much everywhere, so they're easy to go to.
I thought that was really cool. You know, this was last minute, honest, this morning's group chat. A lot of people were doing a lot of things on Tuesday, and Moneka was very gracious and accepted the invite. And it was funny because I was like, well, can we do a demo? And so when they got a hold of her, your answer was like, yeah, I could pick flowers on the way. Which I literally saw you down there picking flowers. So I think that's really cool that you can make something so beautiful out of something that you grab, you know, things that you just kind of grab on the way. Oh, it smells so good.
Oh man, if you leave it in your car and you just dry it out.
I
too,
do,
it's
yes.
So nice.
I've gotten so many of these over the years, and I keep them for years. You know, even when they're brown, and they, to me, they always remind me of the spirit of the islands. You know, I've gotten them in Yap, Palau, NMI, so I'll keep them for years. I'm going to hang on to this one for a long time.
Yeah, I love Putitanibu too because it doesn't lose its color after,
Right.
even after years. I have a few that are like I put on my santos as offerings to them at my house, and they've been there for a long time and they still have the color.
Well, there you go. Rock it like that. The real crowns.
The real crowns. The
So-
mued.
Right, the West. So she's going to be here March 14th. Remember, every Saturday, Chamorro, we're doing demonstrations. We've got Matt. Tomas is going to do some weaving next week. We close it out with Sina Bernice to do some omelet for you guys here at Puntan Dos Amantes. Moneka, thank you so much. I mean, very, very good conversation. And again, hey, give her a follow, man. She's doing all kinds of things on all kinds of different fronts. And I only hope we're able to do justice and capture, you know, your personality and stuff in this short segment. So,
Yep, Micronesian Climate Change Alliance on Facebook and on Instagram is where you can find what I'm up to.
all right. Hey, my name's Chris. This has been Group Chat. Viva Mes Chamorro!
Viva!
Viva the Chamorro! Adios. How you doing?